Hello everyone, welcome to MonkeyFeet Season 1 Episode 4. Buildcraft Power Part 2. Right now I'm picking up some glass that I'll need here in just a little bit. Right now though, I'm going to focus on making my second storage tank for this setup. And for that we're going to need to use this rolling machine right here. Now this comes from the Buildcraft mod, and it's been requested that I show some more of these recipes and stuff I've previously built. So this right here is the recipe for your rolling machine, and that's used for more than just making tanks and stuff. A good portion of it's used to actually make the the cart system in this with this mod. So I'm right now making some iron plates, which I will need for the tank wall over there. I've already made some of the stuff for this tank simply because I made one for my oil right there. So finish clearing this out while those are cooking up over there. And I am making a 5x5 by 5x5x5. I counted out right. Yep, 5x5x5. That gives an extremely large amount of storage space for my liquids. In fact, I need to get one more back right here. Just clearing this out here for evenness sake. No other real reason to do it. Now I'll knock that out here in a second once I get my floor down. Now normally you'd store your liquids in just buckets in your inventory, but this iron tank, while not the biggest size that can be made, and even if I use steel instead, I have an even larger storage amount, but 2,400 buckets. This right here is in millibuckets, so if it says 1,000, that really means one. And let me see. Alright, those look like they're done. I'll just turn those off for now, and I'll store that in here for the time being. And this should be done. Oh, almost done. I thought they'd be back up in there. You see, I'll need 4 of you. Alright. So your tanks require 3 basic parts, especially if you want it to actually do something other than just sit there and look pretty. Those parts, I've already got some of them pre-made, so those will be easier. One, two, three, four. Okay, didn't need that one. If I counted this out right, I made exactly what I needed. Nothing extra. You know, on second thought, leave that one open too. So what you gotta do with these iron tanks, or these railcraft tanks, is first you get to decide how large you want to make it. And then clear out that much area. And then just start filling in with these wall blocks. Yeah, iron tank walls. And there are a couple things that you can and cannot do with these things. And I'll get into that in just a second when we get closer to actually finishing this right here off. I might have miscounted. Oh well, nothing else. I have extra iron up there for the next part also. And it never really hurts to have extra tank walls. Now, the other thing I need are a couple of these valves and the rest of these gauges. The recipe for the tank valve is 4 of those iron plates we just got done making in the rolling machine, a lever, and iron bars, which iron bars are 6 iron like that, and lever is a stick and a piece of cobblestone. And yeah, that right there makes 8 of those tank valves, and very few tanks have more than 1 or 2 valves. And then the gauges are made from glass panes, which are 6 glass like that. It's almost exactly the same thing as the iron fencing. And then 5 glass panes and 4 iron plates, and that makes 8 more. You don't have to have the gauges, but the tank valves can only be on the very bottom, the very top, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. I usually kind of run everything through the bottom and the back, and then the bottom right here, which I think that's where I want to put it. And after we put that last block in, it updates to make a big multi-block structure like that. And again, 2,400 buckets of storage space for liquids. Now I can store pretty much anything in there: water, oil. Then that one's going to have something special in there in just a minute. But say you want to expand this. All you have to do is break 1 block. Everything is stored inside this block's memory. So as long as I don't break this block, I get all that oil back. See? Just like that. And I actually have an oil pump somewhere else out in the world. I'll get to that. I'll add another one a little bit later on, but right now I don't need it. So, here's what I'm going to do with that oil. You know, oil's pretty good. There's usually a bunch of it in the world, and there's some biomes that spawn a whole bunch of it. So, what I want to do is refine that into fuel. And I'll need 3 of these fuel, or just 3 of these tanks. Put that back in there before I mess up something. And still just need 4 of those. Go in there. Okay, so last episode I made a whole bunch of these wood gears, which again are just 4 sticks like that. Make a stone gear, an iron gear, to a gold gear, to a diamond gear. And then I need a couple redstone torches also, which are right here. And that's just a stick and some redstone dust. Put those there. Those like that. And that makes me a refinery. And before I run downstairs, I'm going to make sure that I don't have my liquid ducts up here, which I will need here in a second. And it doesn't look like it. Okay. So, we'll come down here, and I know I mentioned the liquid ducts earlier in the last episode, and I never really got to explaining what they do. And I need a bucket of oil. Now, this is not a step you have to follow, but it helps prevent certain problems from cropping up with this machine. Namely, the fact that sometimes... I can't put it back in there, can I? Nope. Okay. Sometimes, when you have 3 or 4 of these lined up like that, like I'm going to eventually, they will dump their fuel from here into their little side bins where the oil is supposed to go, and basically run out of space and won't be able to run. So, yeah, I have a valve right there, which I need to grab my crescent wrench, which is back upstairs, I think. Oh, no, my crescent wrench, precision hammer. Am I out of Liquidex? Huh. Okay. Well, fine then. And I need some copper. So again, Liquidex, hardened glass, copper. Boom. I left my lever upstairs, apparently. I need to bury that one more line down. Otherwise, I won't be able to run those correctly a little bit later on. Definitely the hammer now. Okay. Which means I get to show off this little thing over here that I haven't had to show off very much. These are from Biblio Woods, and you can put pretty much any tool up there with just a right click. And let me see. The tool rack is 6 stone slabs, or not 8 stone slabs around 1 piece of iron, and that's just 3 planks in line like that to make a stone slab, and that makes 6 of them. So you really only have to make 2 pairs of them. Let me down. Okay. Nice, that'll work good when I get down to that. I'm gonna need a couple levers right now, so I'll make those real quick. Just try to make it look halfway decent. I'll put those on there later on. So, as you can see right now, nothing's coming out of this tank. If I hit this, make the little arrow up here, still nothing comes out. So, you know, if I put the lever up there without having that little arrow, nothing comes out. Rotate that. Now, put the arrow on, give a current, it automatically pumps out the oil into the machine, which will start running here in just a second, and after it fills up both sides. I guess I need to turn the power on too, since I'm not quite bright enough to do that without paying attention. And those right there eat charcoal pretty bad, but my next machine after I finish this setup right here to get this started will kind of alleviate the problems I have of running out of charcoal. And this is filling up pretty nicely. Once I get all 4 of these, it'll start filling up really fast with the oil or the fuel. So, what I need to do is find me some coal upstairs. Now, for the next part, I need to make some steel, and there's really two ways to do it. Both of them are pretty heavy on coal usage, so I'm going to try to get as much as I can. Let me see. One way is to put it inside of a... I forgot, it's one of those railcraft machines. I don't use that one as much, simply because it takes a very large amount of coal to make. To make the iron. Let me see. It is a blast furnace, and I mean that's pretty expensive too. That's nether brick and soul sand and magma creams, which are... yeah. I could do this, but I have to spend a while inside the desert. They're looking for those... well, that one flower, whatever it's called. It was in episode 1. You guys saw that then, so it's not really a big deal. But the other way to make coal, it's still, you know, kind of coal heavy, but it doesn't take nearly as long either. So, ooh, I thought I had enough for this entire episode, but it doesn't look like I have enough for the coal. So, I'm going to get cooking as much of this as I can, and I'll just stick that. Each one of these right here will make 2 steel ingots, which didn't have time to show right there. Yeah, you can see 2 popping up each time, though. So, I'm going to wait for those to cook up, and I'll be right back. Alright, everyone, I'm back. I've got my steel cooked up, and then I made a bunch of those steel plates, and they're made just like I made the iron plates. You know what? I'm going to keep some of those back, just because I'll need them for other stuff. So, what I need to make is a steam boiler. And that's the one I'm going to make is going to be the liquid version. So, I need to make some of these liquid fueled boilers. Which, here's the basic recipe. It's the steel plates, iron bars, buckets, which you've seen 100 times, furnaces, which you've seen a few times. Here's the new one, though. This is why I was collecting all that blaze powder earlier. I need 9 fire charges for this thing total, and that's coal, gunpowder, and a blaze powder, and that makes 3 of them. So, I'm going to make those when my rolling machine is about to back up on me. So there's those. I've already made the furnaces and iron bars, so I'm just waiting on all these to finish up. In fact, I'll make some of those. I'll make my boxes right now. And maybe I was wrong. I think I might actually have enough stuff for this. So, I'm going to lay these out in a 3x3, leaving enough room for that to connect correctly. And I'm going to end up digging out down here below it too, so I can get the water inside of there. Let's see, I think it's that. This one, okay. And I'm going to start building that thing right now. So the boiler tanks are 2 steel plates on top of each other, and I'm making the high pressure one. I could actually use basic iron and make a low pressure one, but it doesn't provide as much energy. And that's what happens when you actually make it enough. I'm going to expand this a little bit higher. in a couple more episodes. I just need to get some more iron plates for it. And I know I have some more iron right here, but I've kind of got that saved for something here in a little bit. Also ignore this hole. I'm going to put some things right here in a little bit. Mostly coming from my power generation up here. And in fact, I might have to move this hole somewhere else. Yeah, I'll do that for now. Just cover that hole back in. Then once I've got my engine stuff and... well... yeah, I'll leave that uncovered. I'll bring that out from down here. And have all my power generated down there so I can leave this kind of as a workroom. So, let me pause this and I'll come back when I get my aqueous accumulator back in here to show how this was going to work. Okay everyone, I'm back now. I've got everything I needed for this time around. I could have turned the fuel on earlier, but there's one big problem about steam boilers. They explode if they get too hot without any water in them. And they also explode if they get to actual boiling point and then you start dumping water into them. So you have to keep water in them from when they're cool and keep water in there, which is why the aqueous accumulator works so well for that. So I'm going to turn this on and it'll start heating up immediately. And there's a reason I have this hooked up to the fuel, this being an intermediate step. Eventually when I get all three of those turned on down there, or all three, well, all four refineries on, it'll be pumping up more fuel than can actually be used by the machine. And at first this uses more fuel to heat up, but once it gets up to max temperature it stops using as much to stay heated. Eventually it'll start outputting steam, which I can use. Like right now it's not making any. So while that's heating up, let's go make the steam engine that we'll be using for this, which it's made basically the one that we're used to. I just need a piece of glass, and I'll need 2 of these, and I'll need to make these into steel gears. So just like usual, we upgrade it to stone, and if I remember I can just go straight to steel from here. Yep. So we got those. Now I'm making the industrial steam engine, which requires steel. I can make the commercial. It doesn't provide as much power, but it requires only iron level stuff. But if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. So, what I hit? The steam trap. Maybe later. So there's our first steam engine. I don't have enough for a second right now, so this is going to be kind of a... uh-oh. This is why I was trying to get it done as fast as possible. I'm actually out of energy down here, so this has stopped working completely. Which is okay, because I have this about to start pumping out enough steam to keep everything going. And... let's see... I might not made enough of those. Let me see if I have any hardened glass left. Which I don't. Oh well, I can fix that later. I need to get some power running as soon as possible. So, like our other things, I'm going to run this one on the side over here. I'll put another line along this path. And... yeah, that's how I'll do it. Okay. So here is the plan on this. And I'll get as much of this set up as possible. Did I not have that down here? Okay, 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I'm back. I figured out how I do this. So, what the plan is... Oh, that one's not supposed to be there. Okay, so here's the plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have steam coming along this path over here. You know, along this. Which will fill up the ending steam engines on this line right here. And on this line down here, while these redstone blocks will keep all the machines turned on. And then over here, it's the reverse of everything. So as of right now, this power is going absolutely nowhere. So for the moment, we'll line this up like that. And I need to hook this over here up too. But since I'm getting really close to that wrap-up point, I don't want to get too much involved in this next portion. In fact, I don't quite think I have the resources ready for that. That'll start running as soon as I get hooked up to the power again. I had to relay some stuff and move stuff around to make it fit correctly. Stick back in that in there for now. That and that. My stone torch. Okay, all this stuff is hooked up correctly. Our Geronimo. And that Darth Vader sounding thing is this thing actually running. So it's putting out a whole lot more power per tick than my other steam engines did. Plus, it does not eat all of my coal up. And you can see with more power, this thing's also running faster, which is pretty good. So, I think this is a good wrapping up point for today. Next time, I'll work on this piece of the equation. I'm going to have 3 different blocks here. Well, 3 of the same block here. And that'll get a whole bunch of energy built up for my system to use when it's needed. Let me see. And I'll probably get everything. Yeah, I'll build my refineries between now and next episode and get those hooked up. Build that up some more right there. Not sure where to go after that, honestly. So, yeah. Let me see, what else can we do next episode? Well, I'll tell you what, next episode I'll get this hooked up right here, and then probably start on my Applied Energistics network, which I'm not sure if I have enough materials for that either right now, so let's look at that. Because I need a whole bunch of nether quartz, which I've gone to the nether once. I got maybe enough to just get started, so this is episode 4, Power Part 2, and MonkeyFeet is signing off.